Good morning, home builders. It is day 29, and we are in Daniel chapter 2, verses 16 through 19. Here in the early part of Daniel, Daniel, Hananiah, Azariah, and Mishael, they are still young, probably teenagers here. And this is the point where King Nebuchadnezzar, he has a dream, and he basically threatens that he's going to kill all of the wise men because they can't tell him what the interpretation of the dream is. Daniel goes into the king, and he requests time so that he can pray and ask God to show him the interpretation of that dream. The title for the devotion today is Believing God for the Unseen. And the concept here is that as we are modeling behavior for our children, it is a good thing for our children to see God answering prayer in our lives. It can't be very doubted at all that Daniel's faith as a teenager was kindled by his memory of his parents teaching him what God had done in their lives and in the history of Israel. So even though they were in exile, he had remembered what God had done, and he applied it in his life, and it spurred faith. And he is driven to God instead of just saying, oh, well, this is impossible, or woe is me. Now, this is really tricky because as parents, we like to shield our children from hardship, from pain, from maybe even suffering. We like to take that burden on our own shoulders. We like to say, well, let me worry about this. Let our children enjoy their innocence and kind of continue on living in an ignorant bliss, where we may be under intense pressure as parents to put food on the table, to bring in income, to perform job responsibilities, family responsibilities, and things like that. However, if we are to model faith for our children, and if we are to teach them through our actions and our example that God is faithful to provide, that God is faithful in answering prayer, then we have to let them in on and give them some insight on some of this. So that's the tricky part, what to shield them from and what to kind of let them in on, what information to let them in on. And obviously that changes as they get older. They can handle different things, they can understand different things, but that's the tricky part. We have to be just always doing our best to walk with God and be in His Word and be in constant prayer with the Lord, getting wisdom and guidance on how we deal with these issues. And what information we let our kids in on. But I do agree with the writer that the more that our children see that in our lives, the more head start they get in living out that life of faith and knowing that they can give it up and just lean on God to provide what they need. Have a great day, everybody. This Daniel chapter 2 is a great chance for me to say that that's where we're going to be, at least the early part of Daniel, and really kind of different parts throughout Daniel. That's where we're going to be this week in Sunday school. We had a great week last week. I hope to see everyone there, as many as are comfortable coming, rallied together and filling up that Sunday school room. It did my heart a lot of good this past Sunday, and can't wait to see you all this week. Have a great week.